Good evening, Shabbat Shalom, welcome. Hine Matov, it's great. It is great to be together. It is so wonderful for, I think, my first time to be leading services with Madeline LeBeau, our very own soon-to-be student cantor who is just about to start cantorial school in Israel this fall at Hebrew Union College. We're very, very excited for her. And Cantor Michaeli being on parental leave gives us an excuse to bring Madeline up and ask her to help us lead services. You may know her as Esther from the Purim Spiel and many other things, and so it's great to have her. And what was that? And Cantorial School. We're very excited also to celebrate with the families of Ben and Max as they prepare to come to the Torah for the first time tomorrow and mark a new chapter in their lives. So mazel tov to them and to their families. To all of us, I hope that this gathering helps us to gather strength and to celebrate Shabbat and bring in joy. We always need more joy.
Well, thank you, Rabbi Sachs. I am so excited to be back here with all of you this Shabbat and hearing all of your beautiful voices join together in song. And our next song that we'll be singing is a song. It's called Shir Hadash on page 13 of the Mishkan Tefillah. And it means to sing unto God in the song. So please join with me as we sing together. To God, and we'll all sing along, all the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. I will sing unto God a new song.
As Madeline and I make our way up to the bima, I invite you to look around and make sure that you know just perhaps the person or two sitting around you and offer each other a Shabbat Shalom greeting.
Shabbat Shalom, Mazel Tov.
The candle lighting is on page 2, pages 2 and 3, and in honor of the B'nai Mitzvah tomorrow morning, I'd like to invite up the mothers of Ben and Max, Melissa Friedberg and Rebecca Goldman, to light the candles for us. Rebecca Goldman, excuse me.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
ונשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Let's turn to page 9, and would you join me in this responsive reading, preparing us to begin our worship together. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better word our goal. So we embrace Shabbat together, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Lecha Dodi is on page 20. We will be singing together the verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and when we come to verse 9, it's become our tradition to follow the tradition of rising for that verse and turning to face the door to welcome Shabbat.
Verse 5. Hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. בשמחה ובצהולה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלם בואי חלם יאי לי לי יאי לי לי לחרדי יאי לי לי לקראת קלה יאי לי לי פני שבת נקווה יאי לי לי לחרדי יאי לי לי לקראת קלה יאי לי לי פני שבת נקווה לה.
Tonight, we will be taking a few special moments to observe Transgender Day of Visibility, which is coming up on Monday, March 31st, and has been observed since 2010. It is so important because of the poverty, discrimination, and violence this community disproportionately faces, especially right now, to do this. At the same time, Transgender Day of Visibility is intended as a day to celebrate the lives and contributions of trans people. Transgender, non-binary, intersex, and gender-expansive Jews are very much here, actively and joyfully shaping and reshaping the Jewish world. They're vastly diverse. They exist in all types of Jewish communities, are religious, atheist, agnostic, practicing and otherwise. Trans Jews are artists, accountants, rabbis, cantors, authors, computer coders, chefs, and the list goes on. As in a few moments after the Baruch Hu, we will share the prayer of Ma'ariv Aravim, which marks the separation of evening and morning, of darkness and light. I share with you an interpretation of this prayer before we begin the Baruch Hu section of the service. It's called the Twilight People Prayer, and it was written by trans Rabbi Reuben Zellman. As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are all twilight people. We can never be fully labeled or defined. We are many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are in between roles, at the intersections of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscrossed paths of memory and destination, streaks of light swirled together. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our uncertainties, suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to the God who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define. We can always say a blessing. We are neither day nor night. We are both, neither and all. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Amen. And now on page 28, we rise for the call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, if you are comfortable.
Baruch Hu
invite you, if you are comfortable, to join in the Hebrew on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari v'aravim. And let's read together on page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'vetecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot betecha u'visharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. The Devar Torah, sorry Madeline, I didn't tell you, I'm going to talk just a little bit here.
That's so fun.
The Devar Torah this evening is broken into a few pieces throughout the service. And I want to take a moment now to introduce the Torah portion, which Ben and Max will be reading tomorrow morning. It's called Pekudei, and it's about the last moments of building and preparing the tabernacle, or in Hebrew, Mishkan. You might recognize that name as the name that we are using for the new, smaller sanctuary from this end of the building. The Mishkan, a portable dwelling place for God's presence that the people will carry with them during their wanderings in the wilderness until they come to Jerusalem and can build a more permanent temple. The instructions and then execution of building the Mishkan span 5 weeks of Torah portions. And finally, this week, they are completed. Moses carefully arranges the furniture and the curtains, and when he steps outside in this dramatic moment, God's presence fills the tent. I just returned, along with Rabbi Stein and Rabbi Schwartzman, from the annual Reform Rabbinical Conference in Chicago. And we studied this Torah portion in a very special way. using a draft of the new Reform Torah commentary, which will eventually replace those thick Plaut commentaries at the seatbacks in front of you. It'll be just as thick, but it'll be different. It's really wonderful, and while Plaut is great and has served us incredibly well over the past several decades, this new commentary provides a lot of fresh perspectives and ideas that bring us into the 21st century. One more exciting thing about this new commentary is that our group of TRS Torah study regulars, some of whom are among us today, and many of whom have been learning together at 9 a.m. every Saturday for many years, came together over the last few months and raised between them the $25,000 required to sponsor one of the Torah portions in honor of our founding Rabbi Laszlo Berkowitz. So that's very moving. In studying Parshat Pikudei from this new book this week, I discovered some great teachings, and I thought I would share a few with you tonight. The first is a poem by Rachel Barnblatt called Instruction, and it's a great way to bring us into the Mi Chamocha prayer. To hear it, you not only have to picture the Israelites' work of building the Mishkan and the beauty of it, but you also have to remember that the Torah paints a picture of the people being led around the wilderness from camp to camp by God's presence in a pillar of cloud. The poem will mention God's presence lingering. That's the same cloud that leads the people through the Red Sea, up to the Red Sea, and then through the parted waters. In the Song of the Sea, we'll sing in a moment as the people take their first steps towards freedom. So here's the poem by Rabbi Rachel Barnblatt. How often I wish for such clear instruction. Build a structure to house what you long for, inserting a golden post in a golden socket, as though you understood the grand design. Anoint the dinner dishes with joy. Wash hands and feet every time you enter. Rest when the work is done. And when the presence lingers in your neighborhood, you'll know to sit still and watch your breath. When the cloud lifts, have your bags packed. Be ready to leap without fear. On page 40, we share Mi Chamocha. 42, we have a prayer praying each evening for safety and for peace. Would you join with me? Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our coming and going, to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
We'll continue now with Yismachu on page 44. Yismachu means we will rejoice, we will delight. In these really complex times that we live in, it can be so hard to be able to be uplifted and find the light and be joyous. But these words remind us of the importance of being able to celebrate in Shabbat and celebrate together as a community. I invite us all to join in this Yismachu. I know it's one that we don't do that frequently, but the chorus repeats a lot. So please join in when you feel comfortable. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי, מקדשי שבי שבת. כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. והשביעי רצית בו, רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת, קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. זכר למעשה, למעשה בראשית. זכר למעשה, למעשה בראשית. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, עונג שבת. We will now continue our service with the tefillah section. We'll now continue our service with the tefillah section, the Amidah section. Amidah means standing, so I invite you to please rise if you're able and join with me on page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagipor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chatzei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech mevit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yehallelu selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. On page 55, would you join with me in these special words for Shabbat? May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat, page 175. Let's say, Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam be'ahaba tekabel, utehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, shotecha levadecha, bira na'avod. And would you join with me in this prayer of thanksgiving on page 59? When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us, we mortals that you take note of us? You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. In the new commentary on Pekudei, we encounter a teaching from the Slominer Rebbe from the mid-20th century. I know his name makes him sound a lot older than he is. The fact that the Israelites had to set up and take down the Mishkan over and over again during their wanderings from place to place powerfully hints, according to the Slamina Rebbe, at a crucial realization. We humans will fail. We may fail many times. Each time we fail, though, we cannot lose our faith or motivation. We must pick ourselves up and immediately try again. We may build our Mishkan and then see it not only threatened or breached, but toppled completely. When that happens, we should not fall into depression or melancholy, but once again begin the process of building the next Mishkan, the next act of bringing wholeness to the world, of working for Shalom, the next act of peace. Shalom Rav is on page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Shortly, we will turn to page 62 to join together in Yehiyu Liratzon, a prayer asking God to hear the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts and accept them with love. But before that, I invite us to all take a moment to pray the prayers of our heart before we come together to sing this song.
We turn now to some prayers for healing, which you can find on page 253. We hope that our prayers bring healing and bring us to acts of help and comfort and healing to those in our families, those in our congregation and our extended families and the community and around the world. Mi sheberach avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yavarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill. And we think particularly this evening of Alon ben Barbara, Hannah Leah bat Yosef v'Hendel, David Albert, Fumahana bat Hinda Yenta v'Israel Pavel, Alyssa Drabkin, Karen Halpern, Daniel Herman, Leah Levinson, Sooth Lukash, Margie Riesberg Goldstein, and others whom you might like to name as well. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. In a last teaching from the new commentary that I'd like to bring you, Rabbi Shai Held points out that the final chapter of Exodus contains 7 instances of the expression Kasher tiva Adonai et Moshe, just as Adonai commanded Moses, or exactly as Adonai had charged Moses. This is similar to the 7-fold repetition of the phrase, and God saw that it was good, in Genesis 1. We can learn from this that since both the world and the Mishkan were created exactly as God wanted them, they both should be perfect. Except that in reality, as Rabbi Held reminds us, and according to Torah itself, the world as we find it falls far short of God's hopes and expectations. In a world overrun by chaos, the Mishkan is intended to serve as one place in which everything unfolds according to the divine plan, just as Adonai commanded Moses. Amidst all the world's brokenness, there is to be one place at least in which God is really present. It's as if God says to Moses and the Israelites, I made you a place to live. Now you make one for me. So now, as we share in this blessing of transgender justice by Rabbi Emily Aviva Kapoor Mater that I want to share with you, we recognize that we are all obligated to strive for tikkun olam, for the healing of this broken world, to make it more like the perfect world God might have envisioned. We recognize that every one of us, in some ways, as this blessing says, crosses over the boundaries of life, and we all share in receiving a blessing for those moments when we find ourselves striking out into unexplored territory. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessing upon our community, the holy assembly of all transgender people, and upon all of us who cross over the boundaries of life. Grant us life and happiness from your abundance of blessings, and spread over us the shelter of your peace. Grant us the strength to create and to be created, to form and to be formed, and to fulfill your will to love all creation and to pursue peace. Teach us truth and justice, for you are a shield for all the oppressed. Send relief and righteousness to all our community, and may your goodness be with us as it was with our ancestors. Blessed are you, God, who makes justice and peace for all who cross over the boundaries of life. Amen. And Kain Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. And now, as we turn to the concluding blessings on page 282, we ask Max and Ben to help to lead us in the Aleinu prayer, and we invite up their dads, Ross and Jonathan, to the bima to open up the ark, and if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
Page 287.
May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, but may we never lift up our hands, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair.
Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity, cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
In a moment, we will join in the Mourner's Kaddish, prayer of remembrance, which is found on page 294. We remember that while it is a prayer of remembrance, the Kaddish is a prayer of gratitude, and so it is with gratitude for our loved ones and those who have blessed us that we recite it. As I name these names of loved ones, I invite you to rise upon hearing a loved one if you are here to remember a person who perhaps passed recently or whose anniversary of their death you are observing, to stand and remain standing so that we can be supportive of you in your time of remembrance. We remember this week the following people. We offer condolences this week for the following deaths that have occurred and burial has not yet taken place. Condolences to Deborah Gallant on the death of her mother, Shirley, and Sylvia Lesher on the death of her son, Rob. And we remember those for whom we are observing Shloshim this month: Jordan Himmelfarb, father of Stephen; Milton Lefkowitz, father of Rini Shiohama; Rosalind Laskin, mother of Rabbi Stephanie Bernstein; Donald Dreyfus, father of Heath; Robert Levy, brother of Jeffrey; Consuelo Amram, mother of Victor; Lenny Bronstein, wife of Harvey; Richard Morton, partner of Dottie Bennett. And those for whom we are observing yahrzeits this week: Diana Albert, Herbert Bertha, Vaughn Bishop, Henry Botuck, Harry Budenstein, Herman Keynes, Albert Chodakowitz, Alan Coe, Jerome Cohen, Sigbert Dingfelder, Gerard Droller, Jerry Fish, Thomas Gartside, Sheila Gell, Jewel Glazer, Ira Gold, James Golden, Robert Hazen, Saul Hirschenhart, Norbert Hunnekens, Albert Kahn, Dorothy Kane, Mary Kenny, Louise Levine, Arthur Liskow, Jenny Malka, Seymour Maskell, Bernard Miller, Sally Moss, Azur Moadeb, Aaron Neiman, James O'Keefe, Rose Ornstein, Bill Ostar, Joseph Palambi, Gertrude Pinkard, Ethel Pomerantz, Leo Rosenbaum, Robert Ross, Sidney Rubenstein, Sharon Sakowitz, Joanne Schiff, Harriet Shoulder, Saul Schuster, Morris Shapiro, Michael Schinder, Gisela Silbermans, Celia Sperber, Richard Springer, Mildred Stansky, Gerald Stern, Rhoda Tribitz, Yale Weisblatt, Lisa Shu Gray. Those who may have fallen in recent days in service to our country, and those who have died in violence in Israel and in Gaza and elsewhere around the world. And we remember also those whom you would like to add to our list. And if I might have said a name incorrectly of a loved one, I invite you to say it for me. Remembering all of them with love, we stand with our mourners and recite these words, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'amah divrach yidutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam l'almei al-maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei kudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. Please be seated. It's a pleasure to invite Jen Jacobson, our president, for some greetings. Hi, Jen.
Thank you. Hello, Rabbi Sachs. Shabbat Shalom, friends. I'm honored to welcome you here, whether you're in person joining us or on streaming. It's really good to have you here. And thank you, Rabbi Sachs and Cantor to be Madeline LeBeau, for leading us. We are so graced by your gorgeous voice. I feel so proud to have been part of this and to have you joining the Cantoret from our family, from our TRS family. If you're here in person, we would love to have you say hello and at the Oneg after services. Please come say hi. And I wanted to show you just give you a heads up about some things on the inside of your program, things that are coming up. We have the World Zionist Congress campaign, so please vote if you're eligible to vote for that. Vote reform. We encourage it. There's some information about Passover at TRS and our Discover Shabbat programming. And then next Friday, April 4th, there's Bowie Shabbat where we're going to be welcoming Orly Erez-Likovsky, who is the director of the Israel Religious Action Center. So that will be very interesting. And there's other things in your program to look at too. And have a wonderful Shabbat weekend. Oh, and Mazel Tov to Max and Ben. We hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend with your families. We're so proud. Mazel Tov to you and your families. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
In just a moment, we will end with a closing song and benediction. And if you would, after that, please take your programs and close them. And on your way out, if you would return to the music stands, that way we will be able to use them tomorrow morning. And as we close with Oseh Shalom.
Should we do Kiddush?
Oh, maybe we should do Kiddush. Who is the student and who is the clergy on the beam?
Well, I learned from the best.
Right. Thank you. We turn to page 5 for the Kiddush, and we turn to Ben and Max to help us at leading this prayer. And if it's comfortable, we rise. Here you guys go. Come right here, guys.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'rata banu, v'shabbat kodesho, v'ahava u'b'ratzon hirchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki banu b'chata yotanu kidashta mikol avim, v'shabbat kodshecha le'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
And we are closing with Oseh Shalom, which you can find.
On page 62. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Urtzeh Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Urtzeh Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Urtzeh Shalom bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Our benediction is by Rabbi Dr. Koach Baruch Fraser. Echenoch atzmi, I will dedicate myself. I will dedicate myself to transformation. I will dedicate myself to be brave. I will dedicate myself to be joyous. I will dedicate. Enochech atzmi, I will dedicate myself to liberation. I will dedicate myself to truth. I will dedicate myself to keep on learning. I will dedicate. Echonech atzmi, I will dedicate myself to self-reflection. I will dedicate myself to solidarity. I will dedicate myself to resting my body. I will dedicate. Amen and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat.